Hey, g'day everyone. Okay, I've got a proper door gap now on the, I was going to say everywhere around the door. Not quite. We do have it, well I haven't, still got to add a little bit to here. This doesn't quite, this is a bit sharp here. And I'm going to add a little bit of weld from there to there. And yeah, grind it off. But involves grinding right from the beginning here to get the paint off and whatever. And yeah, I've just noticed too, I've forgotten to weld that little bit of excess. That was, yeah, from when I cut up here. The angle grinder I've cut into there as well, and I forgot to actually finish that little bit. But yeah, as I said, it's 10:30 at night, so there's no firing up the angle grinder at this time of night. So yeah, I'll make the video now. As I said, I was going to wait till I was finished, and or at least finish welding it before making a video. And yeah, so what I've done here, if you hadn't watched the previous video, I had a huge door gap. Like it started, or actually it was too close here. I had to cut this part back. But from about there, it was the right gap, which is 1/4 inch. And what I've been using, I just got an offcut bit of 1/4 inch steel. That's what I've been using all the way around the car. That's the, yeah. So keep my gaps the same. And yeah, so as I said, yeah, it started off okay here. Then by the time I get up here, it just had like a 1/2 inch gap. And because I'd cut the top of the door off and dropped it down 3mm, I was sort of, because I hadn't noticed it before, but I was concerned that I might have got it crooked, but I couldn't have, because I cut the exact same amount out of both sides. The gap along the top here is even, the gap down here is even. So I was fairly confident that, I hadn't put that on crooked, and that the door itself wasn't crooked, because the gap's all the same all the way down here. Yeah, gap's, pretty close to perfect against the guard. Of course, that I had to make that gap up, because I messed up the first patch. But as I said, I was fairly confident that everything was right, and that it had to be the body that was out, but there's no dents, there's no damage here, so I can't see how, like it might have been pushed back if it had collided with something. But if that was the case, the gap would finish here, and then there'd be a bend here, because it wouldn't bend this part, see? And it was all straight. And but what really convinced me that the body is wrong, and must have been wrong right from the factory, is that, see this inside edge, see that you got this seam here, this is where your pinch weld goes on, and that lines up perfect with the door. See, that lines up perfect, but this had a big long, like 1/2 inch at the top, 1/4 inch at the bottom gap in it. So as I said, after I checking everything and then saw this, I knew that had to be the body that was out. It had just been made wrong. So and because I had to correct it. I couldn't just leave it that way, I'm attempting to do this up now to show quality, something I've never actually done. I've done up and painted a few cars, but I'm going to really go all out on this. So anyway, and I got a comment on the last video. Is the door tweaked or the body tweaked? Well, yes, the door's been tweaked, but after summing up everything, the body itself had to be wrong. So I fixed it, and this here is a double panel too, because this overlaps. There's there's an overlap on this edge. It's spot welded. I didn't pull the spot welds apart or anything, because the whole thing has to move. Like there was no point pulling the spot weld apart and moving that forward, because then there's nothing for it to bond to. So I cut this ridge out, and I'll open the door and show you. Let me see. Right. So I cut it all the way down here. Oh, actually I haven't even finished welding that. Okay. I thought I'd finished that last time, but obviously I haven't. And but yeah, as I said, from about, it's probably all the way actually. Yeah, there's a double panel. So I took the outer piece off, and then I just got in there with a screwdriver and turned it and moved this whole piece forward. So yeah, as I said, a little bit here, and about 1/4 inch at the top, moved it forward. Yeah, put this piece back on, fully welded that. You can, when you got all these creases and ridges, you don't have to worry too much about it buckling. You can, like, I was still doing it, a few inches apart, probably 3 or 4, but I was doing, 3, 4 tacks on top of each other. 3, 4 tacks, 3, 4 tacks, 3, 4 tacks, and going back over it. I wasn't terribly worried about it, because it's, you got all these bends and everything, it's going to hold the shape. But don't know if I mentioned, I had to weld up, because it's a double panel, I had to weld the inner piece first, and then clean that up a little bit, clean the dags off it, set this back over the top, then fully weld this down. Then when it come to filling the gap here, because I said I had like 1/4 inch gap down to a couple of mil here, and then 1/4 inch gap and even bigger at the top. So all I did was I just laid this down. I laid it in about 4 inches at a time, because the other thing that happened too is that when I cut it, this panel dropped in a bit, so like I had to get the gap here correct, and then put a screwdriver in it and pull the panel back out to where it was supposed to be. So for that reason, I said I did it in 4-inch sections. Just put this piece in the gap, and said, taxed it, cut it off, pushed it into place, tacked it again, and then because this is gal, this is like fencing wire or something. Well, not even fencing wire, I don't know what it is, but don't know what it is or where I got it from, but anyway, it's gal. Because it's gal, it gives you an issue when you're doing spot welds, because you've got to put enough heat in it to burn the gal off before it'll actually weld. So your spots are sort of twice the amount of time, twice the amount of heat, and I couldn't sort of do it on this side, because it's just throwing too much heat out. So I said I got it lined up. I put a tack every 4 inches or so. So there was only like 4 or 5 tacks onto this panel, and a few more here. But then I was doing 3, 4 tacks, 3, 4 tacks, 3, 4 tacks. Get the air out, cool it down. 3, 4 tacks, 3, 4 tacks, and I basically welded the wire to this side fully, and as I said, doing 3 or 4 tacks and getting it quite hot, but keeping an eye and keeping a check that it wasn't transferring here, and it didn't really, because as I said, I only had a few tacks attaching it to this panel. So yeah, I said I was pretty much able to just go gung-ho at it and weld this whole piece onto the wire first. And the purpose and benefit of doing that is that I then burnt the gal off the wire, by putting quite an amount of heat into it. So then it made it easier to tack onto here, because then I could just do a quick tack and it would hold, because I'd already burnt the gal off. And yeah, and because I've done so much cutting and welding, I really should be cleaning them all up with the grinder, but the flap disc is worn out. I probably will sort of run over this with the stone. Firstly, just take the high points off, bring it down to a mil or so. But yeah, I want to go to a sanding pad, like a 40 grit rotary pad. I've got one that goes on the grinder, but I want to try and get a smaller one as well, or even buy another one the same size and then cut it down like the rubber backing, so that I can reuse the pads. It's what happens with your rotary pads, and I'll show you. They actually take the metal off, a lot quicker than what you would think. But yeah, what happens is you wear out, just this outside edge. If you keep grinding at it, you just wear your pad down. So I think I'm going to go and get another pad, even another couple if I can afford it, and cut them down to different sizes. Then when it wears out the edge of the pad, I don't have, I'm not just wasting a pad. I can cut it down and use it on a smaller base. But yeah, so the channels. There's quite a few other channels, body repairs, and I've just lost the piece that came off that. I can't see it, but anyway, I won't look for it now while I'm making a video. I'm just going to have to remember to come back and find it. I dropped this 2 days ago, couldn't find it. That's an axe wedge for an axe handle. I just found it then, it was filled it under my feet, but I can't see what I'm looking for. Anyway, won't bore you with looking for that. I just got to remember to look for it when I finish making the video. But yeah, as I said, I should be grinding each of these things down as I finish, but yeah. Grinding is a pet hate of mine, but the way I'm going, I'm going to be left with a whole week's solid grinding. But anyway, them's the brakes. As I said, I want to get it finished. I want to get the doors and panel guards off and paint, put my engine together. So yeah, I'm not going to bother with it right now, but just want to get all the welding done. So yeah, the next step on this side, and probably the final step on this side for the time being, until I get up to that other panel. That'll be the other last bit of weld. I'm going to do some relief cuts in that panel, that stretched panel, and straighten it up, or attempt to anyway. But yeah, I got to put a new bottom piece on this guard, and this is the piece I cut off. It's bent up, it's rusted, it's cactus, and so I've got to do the same on the other side. This is a piece of the original guard on the other side, but that was a little bit bent too, and when I started whacking it with a hammer, it's also quite rusted. No holes in the outer. Oh, yeah, there's a tiny bit. But yeah, So I think I'm gonna be unpicking this piece, make a new piece for that at least. Maybe throw a little patch in the underside, but yeah. And so I've started making up a new piece, put a few bends in it, and yeah, sort of make an opposite copy of this to go on the other side, or to go on this side. Yeah. But I'm using stainless, yeah, and because this is an old laundry tub. Now, I've got quite a bit. I've got 4 laundry tubs out there. So I figured I might as well use it. Yeah, at least this part, I'll make the other piece out, make the whole thing out of stainless, At least then the only bits that can actually rust are the welds themselves. Yeah, only because I haven't got any stainless wire, but yeah, you don't have any problem. Just welding stainless with regular wire. So you do have a problem drilling it, depending on the grade of stainless. But if you've got a drill press, that's a bonus. What you got to do when you're drilling stainless is you got to force it through. You got to put a lot of pressure on it and get it through as quick as you can. Because the longer your drill bit's on there, the hotter it gets, and it'll eventually get that hot that it'll just blunt your drill. So yeah, if you ever drill with stainless, yeah, punch it through as quick as you can, and if you can do it on a drill press, even better. So, but yeah, you've got to get it through before it gets too much heat in it. So anyway, that's enough of a ramble for now, and yeah, stay tuned if you want to see how things go. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.